In today's video, I'm setting up my 2022 bullet journal ready for the new year with some simple, pretty and beginner-friendly spreads. Hello everyone, I'm Lynette Clark. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you haven't done so already, then I will ask you to consider subscribing and help me make this channel grow. Without further ado, let's get started. The notebook that I'm using is a size B5 from Notebook Therapy. I've been using an A5 for the latter part of this year, and it feels great to have a bigger notebook to work in again. So before I start on any of my yearly spreads, I am going to add a key or a legend at the very front of my notebook. For those of you who are new to the Bujo world, a bullet journal key is simply a handy reference guide that you create to remind you what colours, letters or symbols that you use in your bullet journal to signify various tasks. For my key, I add a to-do, doing, a done, migrate, cancelled, appointments, events, important question, birthdays, note, love and my period. I personally like to have my key on the left hand side of my notebook so that if I need to make reference to it, when I flip back, it's there right in front of me on that first page. So to greet the new year and say hello to 2022, I came up with this simple but really effective design. I have created a template using my Cricut. You could use your printer and print out the numbers and then use a scalpel, but my blades were really blunt, so I cheated. And then I worked out, you can see the pencil line, the centre of the stencil, washi taped it down, and now I'm just going to basically fill it in with lots of sort of floral, leafy designs. This is just a decorative page, but it still also sets the tone for the kind of style that I want to go for the entire 2022 bullet journal video. You will end up noticing that everything I'm doing is in black, white and grey. I love doing my beginning spreads with a more neutral palette. I think of these pages as my standard base pages, and then I will add more colourful, elaborate or creative pages with my monthly spreads. This also means that supply-wise I'm keeping things to the minimum, and I'm only using some black fineliners and some black and grey brush pens. If you are interested in what I'm using, then I will link everything in the description below. So back to this design, once you've washi taped everything down to keep it in place, you can just basically fill your stencil with whatever patterns, whatever colours you want to go for. You can keep it as elaborate or as minimalistic as you want, but it's an easy and effective way of creating some really pretty text. And incredibly satisfying once you start taking that stencil away. This next page, I'm working on my 2022 at a glance, which is the entire overview of the year. Now these spreads are always pretty tedious to make because you have to draw 12 mini calendars and all the numbers, and it can get a little bit tiresome and frustrating if you make a mistake that throws the rest of the year out. So I fully recommend definitely drawing this out in pencil first. They are definitely worth it though, and they are something that I will make reference to throughout the year, especially when it comes to setting up my monthly spreads. In case you're curious, each little calendar is made up of 6 boxes by 7. I'm adding some quick pen strokes with my grey brush pens to add a hint of colour, which I will be then writing the days of the months on top of with my black fineliners. And I can guarantee you, after writing all these numbers, I definitely had some serious hand cramps. So for my next spread, sadly I lost some of my footage because my camera failed. which was very helpful. But speaking of helpful, this one is an incredibly useful bullet journal spread for me. So it's a grid spacing reference guide that you can go back and refer to so that you don't have to keep counting out all the dots and work out where halfway points are or your quarter points are. And you can just end up saving a lot of time when creating future spreads throughout the year, because it can be incredibly annoying and time consuming having to keep counting everything out. Like with the key, I always make sure that this spread is on a left page, because having it on the left page makes it easier for you to flip and take a peek and then go back to making your spread. So on the right hand side I made a quote page which says, "Trust in the magic of new beginnings," which I thought was just a really nice quote for the start of my bullet journal. I didn't play around too much with the letter styles. This is definitely an area that I plan to work on and practice a lot of in the next year, because I'd love to be good at typography, and at the moment I don't feel like I'm anywhere near. But like with almost anything, it just requires a lot of practice. I don't elaborate on this quote too much. I'm just adding some grey for some drop shadows, and then some little sparkles, and I think a couple of mushrooms are added in there to add to that mystical, magical aesthetic. Now these next spreads I am making my future monthly logs. If you are new to bullet journaling and you don't know what a future monthly log is or how they work, they are basically a place for you to add all of your future and monthly commitments in one place, and it allows you to plan for those tasks or events that are too far away for you to easily put into, say, your daily, weekly or even monthly tasks. So I'm consciously making these spreads nice and simple because I want to make sure that this is something that can work for me, and I'm doing these over 2 double pages so that I can have plenty of room to write things down in the future. This horizontal layout where I did 3 per page works out perfectly because you can do 4 pages where you can do 3 months per page. I'm keeping the theme going which I used for my 2022 title on the first page, and adding the little designs for the monthly titles for my future logs, and then adding a little calendar to each month so I have that quick reference, and because I haven't drawn enough calendars already. So all that's left for this spread now is to add some drop shadow to the calendar and then the titles for each month. Alright, so the next spread I am doing is my 2022 goal setting spread. I wanted to make this one a pretty big one, so I have done a double page spread. I really wanted to split my goals up into different categories, so you'll see that I have done boxes for my art, mental wellness, fitness that I have neglected for far too long, reading, work, travel and personal. I think splitting up your goals into different categories is the best way to do your goals and keeps them more specific. And then you can outline what steps you want to take and how to achieve them. So for the title on this page, I'm keeping the theme going and filling in the numbers as I have done before. Adding some more splashes of grey. And then the goals that I've already mentioned previously, with a leafy doodle just to finish it off. So my next spread I made is a places we visited, or places we went to tracker. It's fun to look back on all the little things that you've done, and it doesn't have to be anywhere far, because let's face it, travel hasn't really been easy this last year or so. So I've done this in the format of a chart with 3 columns titled Date, Destination and Memory. And then I'm going to mask off a section at the bottom and then the top. And then adding the same floral design that I've had running through the whole setup. I've said it before and I will say it again, there's something incredibly satisfying about peeling away that washi tape. And because I don't like waste, I'm using the same washi tape for the header at the top. And all that's left for me to do now is add a title. Now that that's done, I thought it'd be really fun over on the next page to do a year in photographs. I love taking photographs, especially of my children, and so adding key little moments into your journal in picture form is always nice to look back on. So this spread is over 3 pages and I will be doing 4 photographs per page. Style wise, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to add the days of the month under each box. The title of a year in photographs, and then for a little bit of colour, with my grey brush pens, I'm just adding some really sort of sketchy, messy borders. And then finally add some doodles of flowers and sparkles. I didn't really want to go overboard too much because I think once you add the photographs it could easily look too busy. And then again repeating the same process over the next 2 pages. I think out of all the bullet spreads that I've done so far, this is the one that I'm looking forward to filling out and completing the most. So next on the agenda is my bullet journal theme ideas. I'm using a chart format again. So doing the month in one column, ideas, and then notes in another. There are certain months of the year where I have a definite idea of what theme I'd like to do on what month. But then other times I'm a bit indecisive. So I thought it might be handy for me to have a guide of what I could do for each month ahead of time. I'm also very open to ideas, so if there's any particular theme that you guys would like me to do, then please let me know in the comments section below. There's a few months that are already spoken for that I know what theme I'm going to do and why, but there are also a few that I am not sure yet, so yeah, please let me know. On the chart I sectioned off each of the 12 months with just some really simple border ideas, just to make this spread a little bit more interesting. And now for my final spread of my yearly setup. I'm doing another chart, but this time it's for my YouTube video ideas. So once again, I've created 3 columns, and one of them is going to be for my art video ideas, one for my bullet journals, and then the other one for some craft ideas. I have had a couple of requests from some of my lovely subscribers in the comment section, and so yeah guys, please let me know if there's any videos that you would like me to do with regards to my art, bullet journal or crafts. And that's it. I'm happy with how this all turned out. It looks simplistic but pretty. It did feel weird not using watercolour because I usually use watercolour on my spreads. But it was like a breath of fresh air doing something quite minimal for a change. So yeah, let me know what you think. Are there any of the spreads that I've done that you'll be adding into your own bullet journal? I'm really looking forward to filling these out, and strangely I am optimistic, maybe naively optimistic for the year ahead. I'm really looking forward to hopefully building this channel and creating a lot more content on a regular basis, hopefully that you guys will enjoy. As we're at the end of the year and there's always a room for a little bit of sentiment, I just wanted to thank everybody who has been watching these videos and subscribing to the channel. It's really appreciated, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you haven't already, then please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're notified on future content. Thank you so much for watching. And all that's left from myself and Bob is to say have a very safe and happy new year.